right to his hip, on PitchCom saying, I want the changeup, and he executed. Very creative out there, but he makes the routine play.
What's your assessment of what your son is doing right now?
This can't be better.
Minter out of the Braves bullpen comes home to Ohtani.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Technically Analytics. Today we're going to be exploring Baseball Savant's newest feature, bat speed measurements. In my last video, I made a brief reference in regards to Luis Arraez holding the league's lowest bat speed. But today we'll use it to see where the home run and extra base hit leaders land on this list. After watching a few videos on it and looking through it myself, I thought to myself, it'd be interesting to see where the leaders in home runs and extra base hits would land on the list. You might think that they would be near the top of the list, right? Well, as you're about to find out, it's not always the case. And you may ask yourself why I chose to use home run leaders and extra base hit leaders as my reference. Well, baseball is such a quirky sport where just because you do something well, like hitting the ball hard, it doesn't mean you're always rewarded as such. So you can hit the ball hard to somebody that catches it, or it goes foul, or anything could happen. Also, these leaderboards are from May 16th, and typically MLB hitters will hit less homers because of weather conditions and generally just the start of the season. Hitters tend to start kind of cold or maybe not as hot as they would be mid-season, right? Mid-season form and so on. So as you might expect, there's an overlap of home run leaders, and extra base hit leaders. I'll use the home run list in order, starting with Kyle Tucker. And then after Adolis Garcia, the next two hitters will only be from the extra base hit leaders list. As I react to the placement of each hitter, keep an eye on the hitters who surround that particular player. Ask yourself, why aren't those similar bat speed guys producing at that level? It's a complex question to be sure, but that's the beauty of baseball. So let's get started with Kyle Tucker. He's the first one on the list, as you can see. So Kyle Tucker has the most home runs in the league currently. He has 13, and he is ranked 95. So yeah, immediately dispelling the theory that if you have the most bat speed, you're going to hit the most home runs. If you make the most contact, you're going to hit them. No. 95. So yeah. And when you look at the hitters surrounding him, you see Merrill Jackson, a rookie this season who just got called up for the Padres, and Jose Siri, who's a good player, but and he's I would say that Kyle Tucker is pretty average in his bat speed. 72 is right around the average. There's maybe I'll put a picture of it or something. There's a graph that you can manipulate, and you can see it's like a plot chart of all the speeds of the bats and the swings and stuff, and they're all chunked around the 70 mile per hour range. So it's not surprising when you look at it like that, but it is a little bit. So yeah, Kyle Tucker's your home run leader, 72 bat speed, and you can see his other metrics there. And then the next guy on the list is Marcell Ozuna. You guessed it, from the Braves. Yep, Marcell Ozuna, and he's right behind his teammate Austin Riley, and just above Padres third baseman Manny Machado. Ozuna, he has, I believe, 12 home runs. 12 home runs. Yeah, 12 home runs. And so Ozuna's ranked 27, which is surprising. I mean, his bat speed is 2 miles per hour faster than Kyle Tucker's. Right next to his teammate, who isn't on the list, surprisingly, Austin Riley is a known power threat. But just obviously early season, like I said, weather conditions, haven't played out as well for him. And Ozuna's been on a tear recently, and pretty impressive guys to be surrounded by, actually. And Ozuna's been heating up this season. He's been a lot better than he has been in past seasons. So yeah, next on the list with 12 home runs, we have Gunnar Henderson, a rookie who has some elite company surrounding him, with the likes of Shohei Ohtani behind him and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. ahead of him, or technically tied with him. And you'll see that Shohei is on the list too, but Henderson is above him in bat speed by just 0.1 miles per hour. So good for him. Good for him. This is a nice showing for Henderson. I mean, he's gonna be a great player someday. He's still technically a rookie, so like, you know, he's gonna have to develop and continue to show his power and his ability to hit home runs and stuff. So yeah, you'll see that's like, we'll see in 5 years if he's still up here on this list, or if, you know, or if I do it in like 5 years, if he's going to be like at the bottom, you know what I mean? Like, we'll see. I'm guessing he's still going to be in the top of bat speed. It's probably only going to get better because he's very young. And the next on the list is somewhat surprising. Josh Naylor at 76. Again, with 12 home runs, I believe. And he has a surprising company around him. Dylan Moore and Michael A. Taylor. Taylor, not known for his hitting, more known for his defense. And Dylan Moore, I actually don't know what he's known for. I think more defense as well. Not known power hitters surrounding him, but Naylor is a known power hitter, and he has known to hit some clutch home runs for Cleveland. And the Guardians are off to a great start this season, so it's nice to see Naylor on this list. And also, it's cool that he's 76, because like 95 is the lead, and in fourth you have Josh Naylor. Like it's pretty crazy. Or is it? Let me just make sure it's fourth. Yeah. It's not fourth. Ninth. Sorry, ninth. It's not necessarily in order, but yeah. So you have. Or no, not ninth. Yeah, no, it is fourth. It is fourth. Sorry, it is fourth. It is fourth. So next we have Teoscar Hernandez, who is a player that I really do like. He went to the Dodgers this offseason, was with Seattle last year, and he's surrounded by some interesting talent, some interesting young talent. Wyatt Langford for the Rangers, and Spencer Torkelson from the Tigers. So interestingly, he falls right between those guys. He's, you know, and Hernandez is known for his power, actually. Like, he's actually a known power threat, and you can see his metrics there. Pretty good across the board. Torkelson's a bit better in some categories than him, but he's a bit better in most categories, I would say. Like, he's an experienced hitter, and that's why he's at this level. Still pretty average bat speed, not crazy high, not crazy low, but yeah, pretty good. And the next guy is a well-known home run hitter, Aaron Judge, and as expected, 76.5, right behind Christopher Morel, who has surprising power, actually, although Morel has shown that he does have pop, and Joe Adele, who has also shown he has pop. Morel and Adele are, they also rhyme, ironically, but they are also guys that are like, you know, they've shown power early in their careers. Like, they're gonna develop into like great power hitters eventually. And like Aaron Judge, I mean, he's a great power hitter. 62 home runs in the season. He broke the single home run season record a few years ago, and Judge is up there in bat speed for sure, and he's showing it. Still doing good. Still on the home run leader list, not leading, but he's been having a quiet season this year. But I mean, eventually he's going to take off and become the Aaron Judge we all know and love. So yeah. And the next guy we have on the list is Tyler O'Neill, a bit of a surprise, right behind Elly De La Cruz and right above Austin Riley at 25. And I have a video on my channel about Elly De La Cruz. He's a freak athlete. He can hit, he can run. There's nothing the guy can't do. Like, he can throw the ball hard. It's amazing. And I'd already talked about Riley before. And O'Neill, surprising, he is known to have power, but I think it's really the Fenway dimensions have really like probably helped him a lot, because I would assume that a lot of his home runs go over right field, right? Like, that Fenway short right field fence probably is helping him a lot in this case. Let's see, where was he on the list again? Let's check. He's 8th, and Judge was tied for 7th, and he has 10 home runs. So he's the 10th. He's the last guy with 10 he's the first guy with 10 home runs, because it's tied with about 6 or 7 other guys. So next we're gonna see another all-time great player. O'Neill is a great player, and he's having a good season in Boston, but a truly all-time great, Mike Trout, number 13, 75.7 miles per hour bat speed, right behind Wilson Contreras. And Jorge Soler. So these guys are all profiles, all pretty similar guys. I mean, they're all, well-known power hitters. They're known to really be able to lift the ball and get out of the park fast. And it's just interesting that Trout is right around just hanging outside the top 10. Maybe a few years ago, before all his injuries, he might have been in the top 10. I'm guessing if the stat actually had existed back then. But obviously it didn't exist, so there's no way to know. But we can assume that Mike Trout would be in the top 10 usually, and he's just outside of it at 13. So, and the guys he's surrounded with are elite company in home run hitting terms. So you got to hand it to him. The next guy, kind of surprising, with 10 home runs, is Ryan Jeffers of the Minnesota Twins. His positioning is quite interesting at 63, between Brett Beatty of the New York Mets and Rafael Devers of the Boston Red Sox. And you would think this is honestly one of the weirdest combinations I've seen on this whole journey that I did with this. I don't know, I don't know how I managed to, this is just random. I don't know. Brett Beatty, I don't really think of him as a home run guy, but bat speed wise, he's similar to Ryan Jeffers. I guess his launch angle is probably just better than Beatty's, because Beatty doesn't hit that many home runs. And then Rafael Devers is a known power guy, but he's not crazy. He'll give you 20, 30 home runs, but you don't think of him as, oh yeah, Rafael Devers is definitely going to hit a home run here. So it's not crazy, but either way, it's interesting where Ryan Jeffers lands, and I'm surprised he's on the home run list, because I don't I low-key didn't think of him as a home run guy. So up next we have Brent Rooker. He's between Willy Adames and Elias Diaz. Kind of an interesting spot at 51. Definitely a guy who hits home runs. Rooker is pretty decent. I'm surprised he's so low on the list, actually. I figured he'd be a little bit higher. Surprising company. Diaz, not really a known home run hitter, and Adames, not really a known home run hitter either. Both those guys are more contact. They'll put it in the gap or whatever. But yeah, pretty surprising spot for him. And then we have Bryce Harper, surrounded by all-time great Philly Andrew McCutchen and former Philly Mickey Moniak. So not surprising to see Harper on the home run list but it is surprising to see him this low at 58. And McCutchen in his prime probably would have been near the top of the bat speed list. I think he had great bat speed when he was younger. Obviously he's getting a little older now. He's about to retire probably. He's going to be a Hall of Famer regardless, and so is Harper. But surprising that Moniak and Harper profile has kind of a similar hitting profile, which is kind of interesting, I guess. Moniak was in the Phillies system and he was on their team for a bit, so it is interesting. And then we have big dumper Cal Raleigh from the Seattle Mariners at 35, right behind William Contreras and right above Hunter Renfroe, one of my favorite utility guys. So big dumper, obviously, you know him. He's big. He can hit. He's a power guy. Hits home runs. It's great. 35. I love it. What can I say? It's his name. His nickname alone is worth the entertainment value. And then we have our last guy on the home run list, Adolis Garcia, coming in at a paltry 82, 72 bat speed. Weirdly, Garcia's a known power threat, but his bat speed is not what you would expect, obviously. And I think the same can be said for some of the other guys too, like Kyle Tucker and some other guys that I went over too. So and he has interesting company as well. Connor Joe, who not really a known power hitter either. He can hit home run from time to time, sure, but Yainer Diaz, he's still developing. I don't know if he's really a known power hitter, but he's an interesting batter for sure to be around. So now we're moving on to the extra base hit portion. So this is roughly in order of the guys that are left that aren't on the home run list already. So yeah, we're gonna look at these guys. First up, we have Ketel Marte, surrounded by two of my favorite players, I think. Starling Marte. The Martes are just together. And then Darton Valshow, who is one of my favorite players as well. I like all three of these guys. They're all kind of different players in their own right, but not really what you would expect. I mean, I guess it is because they'll have like they'll have an element of like speed and power, and they can do it well. They play the field pretty well. So yeah, these guys are all kind of similar players in my opinion. Like Marte is obviously probably the best of the three, followed by Varsho, and then by the other Marte on my beloved Mets. So the next guy, Bobby Witt Jr., just signed an extension with the Royals. At 21st, he has decent bat speed, 75.1, surrounded by Ryan Mountcastle and Elris Montero. Interesting company. I mean, you know, obviously he's pretty high for a guy that's only not even on the home run list, but he is on the extra base hits list, and he is, let's see. He is number 6 on the list. So the extra base hits list goes Ohtani, Judge, Tucker, Ketel Marte, Jeffers, Bobby Witt. So yeah, that's what we've done so far. He's number 6 at 21 hits, 21 extra base hits. So an extra base hit is basically a double, triple, home run, that kind of thing. So he could also have home runs. It's not just hits, but it's pretty interesting. And then the next guy is Mr. Baseball himself, Mookie Betts. And Mookie, maybe kind of fittingly, has a really great miles per hour number, 69. Nice. Yeah, sorry about that. So he is surrounded by Trey Lincecum III from the Nationals and Gleyber Torres from the Yankees. You know what? I was actually surprised by this, because Mookie Betts, known power hitter, known great hitter in general. So I was expecting him to be higher than this, like 176, 69. I mean, it's nice, but like, what? Like, he should have been higher, bro. Like, what the? I mean, of course, given he's on the Dodgers, like, it kind of makes sense, right? Am I right? Like, yeah, I'm not gonna. I digress. Next we have Alec Boehm at number 88, 72.4, tied with Brian De La Cruz, and just above Jazz Chisholm Jr. So interesting profile players there. Yeah. Boehm is an interesting player. He has developed some power over the years now that he's been in the league for a bit, and he's surrounded by Marlins, which is interesting, who are, I guess, similar power threats to him. Like, I would say that they're pretty similar in profile of hitters, so it is quite interesting. And next we have William Contreras, who's above Big Dumper Cal Raleigh, and just below Christian Walker at 34. Again, these guys all, to me, kind of profile as similar hitters. They're known for their power, but they're not on the home run list. Well, Raleigh was, but they're not really known for their. They're known for power, but they're not that high up on the list. Like, they're kind of, you know, in the above the mid range, or just in the mid range of bat speed. So pretty interesting. These guys all profile to be very similar in power and contact and all that. So it is an interesting comparison. And then that will wrap up the list. So they have a little chart thing that I was talking about, and this is one of the charts. It's a bat speed distribution comparison, and it kind of shows you where their top, like the percentage of swings they have and what bat speed they are and what they most often are. It's like a bell curve. I did the top 4 guys in the home run list to profile it. It's kind of a cool representation of like what bat speed these guys have and how often they swing hard or not hard. So it's pretty interesting. You could just pause the video, take a look at it, and, you know, check it out. So that's all. That's gonna wrap it up for today. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe if you want more content like this. Let me know more ideas about bat speed and what I could do with it, like how I could use it to to bring more insight to, your favorite players, or how you use it to analyze games or batters, I mean, I think Baseball Savant has a lot of tools to do it already, and I've utilized quite a few of them, but I think there could be more done, obviously. And so yeah, let me know. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe. Okay, I forgot Shohei Ohtani. He came tied for second with 12 home runs on the home run list, and this is at the end of the video. So here we are with Shohei Ohtani's bat speed, 75.4, just behind Gunnar Henderson and just above Javier Baez. Interesting to know about Javier Baez, who is the only one who I haven't talked about yet, and besides Ohtani. Obviously, Baez is known for his high amount of swords and stuff, especially given how he just swings at pretty much any pitch, right? So, yeah, Ohtani's in an interesting spot, outside the top 10, but not that far outside. So, yeah, I would have expected him to be actually a little bit higher than he is. But overall, I think it's a decent position. He is a well-known power threat, and yeah. So Ohtani lands 18th. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to like and subscribe.